Well, preseason game number 1 is in the books. Isaiah Stanback, and there's a lot to learn from this one. How about we start with Trey Lance? Because Trey Lance is the guy everyone wanted to see play in a first preseason game. What is your take on what Trey Lance did out here today?
Yeah, I think Trey Lance was playing to not mess up today. I think that was kind of the approach that he had. He did some good things. He was able to move the chains, keep the first downs going. But you see, he still has a little bit of hesitation. He's not pulling the trigger the way that he wants to. I don't think that he placed the ball as accurately as he wanted to. There's times where he could have thrown the ball away where he held on to it and took some sacks. So all in all, I think he had an okay first showing, but there's going to be a lot of things that he wants to go back on the film and clean up.
You know, one of the things that was interesting when the Cowboys made the decision to hire Mike Zimmer, bring him back as the defensive coordinator. There are other defensive coordinators out there that you were interested in, but I've heard you talk since then, and since you now have seen Mike Zimmer in training camp in Oxnard and now seen this game where, yes, they are backups, but there were 4 picks out there in this game. What are you seeing from this Mike Zimmer defense right now?
I see confidence. I see confidence. Guys are sure of what their roles are on this team. On each particular play that is called in the huddle, they know exactly what they're supposed to be doing and what impact that has in the totality of that defense. As you saw today, 4 interceptions, almost 5, by all different guys. That lets you know that guys are where they're supposed to be. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. DYJ, do your job, and plays are going to fall in your lap. Today was important in terms of them trusting what he's instilling because they saw the production from it today.
You know, an interesting guy today was Marquise Bell. Marquise Bell was the second leading tackler on this team last year, and by necessity, Dan Quinn had to move him from safety to linebacker last year. Well, now he's back at safety, his more natural position, and we saw what he can do in the first half of this game.
Yeah, you saw him. He's a tackling monster. This dude, obviously, you just mentioned he's second leading in the team last year. 9 tackles today, 1 interception. Any way this guy can have an impact on the game, he's going to do so. He's not afraid to put his head in there. He's not afraid of the contact. And obviously, you see that he has some hands as well.
Well, when you contrast Mike Zimmer's defense versus Dan Quinn's defense known for all those interceptions. We've seen a little bit of it today. What's the biggest difference, though, between the two coordinators' schemes?
Yeah, I think the interceptions that came last year, no disrespect, obviously, Dan Quinn. I love Dan Quinn, but I think a lot of those interceptions came by guys' abilities. They're simple, just their skill sets and their abilities to man up guys and just play really good defense and win their matchups. Versus Coach Zimmer, what you're seeing is plays are just kind of coming to guys, right? It's within the scheme, right? You're not asking guys to necessarily do above and beyond all the time, but you're just saying, hey, do your job, and I promise you that plays are going to come. And they saw the fruits of their labor actually show up today.
Yeah, being assignment sound on defense. All right, you've been watching these wide receivers at camp, and what you saw out here today, who's sticking out as far as these guys competing for roster spots?
Well, I think Harmon made some great catches today. I mean, he went up there and snagged a couple balls.
That's Kelvin Harmon.
Yeah, Kelvin Harmon up top, number 84. He did a good job of some balls that necessarily weren't in the best of positions, but he still went up there and grabbed them, was able to move the chains. You saw Burnett go out there and make a couple plays as well. Jalen Brooks, obviously, early on in the game with him and Cooper Rush. So guys are showing up when the ball's being presented to them. But I think, again, going back to Trey Lance, he's going to go back on the film and see there's a lot more opportunities for some yards after catch that they left on the table just because of ball location.
All right, and Isaiah's been out in Oxnard for training camp. And by the way, Isaiah and George T are going to join us again this year, each and every week on Sunday mornings for Cowboys game day, and you can't wait for that, right?
I'm looking forward to it. Week 1, Cleveland Browns is going to be a good show.
All right, for Isaiah Stanback, I'm Bill Jones with the Cowboys here at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles.